Okay. Hi guys. Hello. 1 minute. All right. So welcome to We Learn English again with Dhiraj Sir, your master teacher of this channel, We Learn English. All right. So today I've come up with this non-academic topic, not a topic as such, but then a question which is kind of very difficult and challenging for many people to answer. That is, how is that you can answer your strengths and weaknesses. This is basically for people who are going to plan your next job interview, or those who get stuck with this question during your job interview. This is not only for the job interview, but then even if you're in your daily conversations or in challenging situations of you have to confront this question, if you have to face this question, how's that, what are your strengths and weaknesses? So we are going to talk about that because this is one of the questions which kind of confuses and it kind of troubles many people out here. So I hope all of you are doing great, fantastic, mind-blowing, superb, amazing. Yeah, let's see who are in the list today. So we have Neha. Hi Akash. Hi Neha. Hi Samruddhi. Hi Rahul. Hi Vivek. Feeling awesome? Sunny. That's great, yeah. Thank you, Jayesh. It's of course it's we the inspiration comes from wonderful audience like you. A warm welcome to all of you. Okay, Ritesh. Hi Ritesh. Thank you, Ashish. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chalo, ठीक है. Let's just check how is it you can answer to this question. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Because this is one of the most common questions, and this is something that that there is that many people find challenging. Okay, let's check. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe right now so that you don't miss such amazing learning. Because it is not only academic, it is non-academic as well. And this topic is, of course, going to help anyone and everyone who is going to prepare for your next job interview. If you have your next job interview scheduled, first of all the very best for that. I'm sure you will rock it. And if at all you're planning to know the answer, proper kind of an answer to this question, how is that you can answer your strengths and weaknesses? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Let's talk about this. All right, so stay tuned and let's get started right now. Look at this here. So, one of the most common questions, this is one of the most common interview questions. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Even people who are expert in their respective profession, they find it difficult to answer. So, today that's what we are going to discuss. Let's discuss how that we can answer strengths and weaknesses question. Okay, so look at this here. These are the, this is an example. This is simply an example I'm giving you. Example, these are the strengths you want to mention about yourself. Let's say you create a list of strengths that you have. You could tailor, that is, you could create a list out of this. So you can probably talk about these skills here. That is your creativity, versatilities, that is your multitasking skills, how versatile you are, flexibility, that is how flexible you are as a person to adjust to new situations, challenging situations, and your new schedule for that matter, and how focused you are towards your work, and of course, taking initiative for something. This is just an example. Now, if you simply give them an answer to this strength, first of all, we are going to talk about strength. If they ask you your strength, and if you simply mention, you know what, my strengths are creativity, versatility, flexibility, I'm very much focused, I take initiatives, trust me, it's a very dull answer. So do not do that. You see, rather than simply mentioning I'm detail oriented, I'm hardworking or something like that, try to deliver a story. Create your answer in form of a story, which and in that story, in that incident, simply mention some incidents or simply mention some experience which highlights those qualities of yours. So this could be like this. I'll give you a sample answer here right now. This is one sample answer about how is that you can answer your strengths, not in a very typical way. You do not have to, please try to avoid it that way. Please try to simply avoid by answering it. My strengths are I'm more flexible, I'm more punctual, I'm more dedicated. This sounds like a very lame answer. So you can create a story like this in form of a story. about some experience, about some incident, in form of a narration basically. See, look at this here. I believe that my greatest strength is the ability to solve problems quickly and efficiently. I can see I can see any given situation from multiple perspectives, you see, which makes me uniquely qualified to complete my work even under challenging conditions. That problem solving allows me to be a better communicator. I'm just as comfortable speaking to senior executives as I am with junior team members. I think my ability to see all sides of an issue will make me a great asset to the team. You see, this is how you portray your strengths. You simply do not say, I'm good at solving skills. You do not simply have to say, I am good at taking decisions. You mention that. You portray that in proper sentences. So, this is one sample answer. This is just one answer you can give. Okay. Okay. See, look at this here. I believe my greatest strength is the ability to solve problems. So this, of course, talks about how flexible you are, what a quick learner you are, and how decisive your mind works. Okay. Then you can see, I can see any given situation from multiple perspectives. That again talks about your mind, and how your mind works, how you look at things, how you look at situations, which makes me uniquely qualified to complete my work even under challenging conditions. That means you can work under pressure, you can work under challenging conditions. Using the same trick, using the same skill, that problem solving allows me to be a better communicator. Of course, when you're a problem solver, you become a better communicator. देखो, you're not simply directly mentioning that you're a better communicator or you're good at communication skills. You're simply trying to give an example of it, or you're trying to connect it with your other skills. You see, I'm just as comfortable speaking to senior executives as I am to junior team members. You see, I think my ability to see all sides of an issue will make me a great asset to the team. This is how you can answer this. Yeah. So tell me how wonderful you find this answer to be. This is one good example how is that you can answer your strengths. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Yeah. So do not simply answer it like this, that my strengths are creativity, versatility, I'm flexible, I'm focused. This is a very lame answer. Try to answer it something like this, wherein you try to portray your skills, giving some example, giving some experience, and you can explain your skill that way. So this is one sample answer for Hauser. You can answer your Hauser answer. That is this part here. That is, how's that you can answer your weak strengths here. About the strengths. We are simply talking about the strengths part now. But then talking about weaknesses is a little more challenging. You see, strengths is a little okay. You have mentioned your strengths, you know what your strengths are, and you have given that as we saw that in the sample answer. But when we talk about weaknesses, if you try to avoid this question, or if you simply say that you do not have any weakness at all, you will seem arrogant. Okay. But at the same time, if you try to respond with too many negative qualities of yours, too many negative attributes, you may risk your chances of selection. You see, this question, what are your greatest weaknesses? You will seem arrogant if you say that you do not have any weakness, because that's really not possible. Every person, every human being has some weakness. If not weakness, you can also call it area of improvement. Okay, nobody is perfect. No human being on this planet is perfect. So if you say I don't have any weaknesses, I don't have any flaws, this sounds very arrogant. So never ever say that. Okay. But at the same time, you also have to make sure you simply do not be so honest. You don't be so honest, like completely honest, and you can simply keep talking about your negative attributes. That also doesn't work. So we have to answer this question very, very decisively. When I say very decisively, like with proper planning. So look at this here. These could be a list of weaknesses a person may have. Okay. Now, this is just a sample. This is just an example of weaknesses a person may have. He probably self criticizes himself. So, self criticism is one of the weaknesses. Maybe insecure about certain things. Too detail oriented, that is always trying to get into details of something, not trying to finish the things off quickly. You see, too detail oriented. maybe public speaking is a problem for that person, or maybe presentation skills. So if these are your weaknesses, you simply try to answer it like this. Okay, do not simply, when you want to answer the weaknesses, be very careful. You mention what your weakness is, and at the same time you also talk about how is that you're trying to overcome that weakness, how is that you're trying to manage with that weakness, and how is that you can you're trying to become a better person. See, look at this here, something like this. I'm incredibly introverted, which makes me a bit shy of sharing my ideas in a group setting or speaking up during team meetings. I feel that I had good intentions. I just always I'm just It's just that I just wasn't always comfortable speaking up. Now you're trying to talk about your weakness, that is you're not comfortable talking in public. That is you're not comfortable talking in a group. Now you simply do not have to say this is my weakness and you be very honest about it. Don't try to answer that way. You mention your weakness, of course, something like this, but you also talk about how is that you're trying to overcome that weakness, because that's what the interviewer is interested in. Look at this here. After my team didn't meet expectations on 2 consecutive projects, I decided to start making changes to get familiar with sharing my ideas for the benefit of my team. So look at this here. So I started making changes to get more familiar with sharing my ideas for benefit of my team. And what is that you did for that? To improve yourself, to work on that weakness. For example, I took PD classes. What is PD classes? Personality development classes, and started trying to get comfortable discussing my thoughts. It's like you joined some class, you worked on your communication, and then you were comfortable and you worked on the same weakness. So it is still a work in progress for me, but it is something that I've improved dramatically over the past year. You see? So first you mention what your weakness is with probably an example or an instance or an experience, and then what is that you did to work on the weakness. That is the most important answer. This is what is missing in most interview questions. Okay, most of the interviews, you see, people simply talk about their weaknesses honestly. They feel honesty is the best policy, so let's talk about the weakness honestly. It will never work. Your chances of getting a job will be at risk. Yeah, so make sure you answer this question very professionally and very carefully. So when I say very carefully, you mention your weaknesses. It's okay to talk about weaknesses, but again, simply don't go and give a list of weaknesses that I criticize myself, I'm insecure, I lack public speaking skills. Don't do that. That will always work against you. You simply mention some experience or mention some instance in which you probably thought yourself weak at. Okay, you thought yourself to be weak at. Now, whatever you thought you were weak at, you mention that experience, but at the same time, you mention what were the efforts you put to work on that weakness, and what is the level of progress towards working on that weakness. Because what matters the most is you're trying to portray that you have weaknesses, but then these are the efforts. This is your plan of action to change your weakness into strength. That's what the interviewer is interested in. They wish to know what your weakness is according to you, but they are more interested in knowing what are you doing to make your weakness, to convert your weakness into a strength. Okay, that's what it is here. Okay, Kumar wants me to speak American English. All right, these are the tips that we are discussing. You see, we are discussing one of the most challenging questions, which is asked during job interviews. You see, there is how that you can answer your own strengths and your own weaknesses. All right, so you got to be very careful with the weaknesses part at least. Perfect. So I'll do a quick recap for you guys. I'll do a quick recap for you. So when you are answering your strengths, let's say if this is the list of the strengths that you create, do not simply mention the list. I'm more creative, I'm more versatile, I'm more flexible. Don't do that. That's like a very lame answer. You mention it something like this. You explain how's that you're versatile. You explain how's that you're flexible. You explain how's that you're punctual with some example, with some instance, or you can probably describe your answer like this. So I'll read it out to you one more time. You see, look at this here. I believe that my greatest strength is the ability to solve problems quickly and efficiently. So when you say your ability to solve problems quickly and efficiently, that means you are a great learner. When you're a great learner, at the same time, you are a quick implementer of things. You implement things very quickly. You do not wait, you do not procrastinate basically, you do not delay. And then you can look at this here. I can see any given situation from multiple perspectives. That means your mind is versatile. You're trying to talk about your versatility. Then if you see, the same thing helps me to become a better communicator. That means you're trying to highlight your communication skills. And when you are a good communicator, you're comfortable speaking to just anybody, be it your senior executives or junior team members, you see. And of course, and the way you conclude your answer also matters. Like using all my skills, using all my ability, I feel that I'll be a great asset to the team, a great asset to the company that I'll be joining. Yeah, wonderful. So that's about the strength part. And about the weakness part, as I told you, if you simply mention that you do not have any flaws, if you do not have any weakness, you will seem arrogant. Never ever do that. Do not simply answer, Sir, I don't have any weaknesses. Sir, I don't have any flaws. Trust me, that's a very bad answer because it seems very arrogant. It makes the interviewer feel that you're very kind of proudy as a person. Because that is not really possible. You not having a weakness is just not possible because even though you could be working on that weakness, but there is always some weakness. There is always some area of improvement. There is always some flaw that a person has. So this will be the worst answer that you can give, that you do not have any flaws. Okay, but at the same time, you make sure you do not highlight many negative attributes. You be very careful when you choose your weaknesses. If you choose these weaknesses, if you feel these are your weaknesses, or any one of these, two of these, or maybe all of these, you simply do not talk about it like a list. Do not mention this in a list saying that, Sir, I feel I try to criticize myself. Maybe I'm a little insecure, sir. And you know what, I am not good in public speaking skills, sir. No, this is again not the way to answer. You answer it like this. Okay, that you feel that you're introverted, that you're introvert as a person, which makes you a bit shy of sharing your ideas in a group or speaking up during team meetings. I feel that I had good intentions, but it's just that you're not comfortable. So what are you doing for that? What are you doing for that after you realize that the team failed in the consecutive projects, the team that you're a part of? You join some PD class, that is personality development class, so that you can work on your confidence skills. You improve your confidence level, you improve your overall personality, and after that you started being more confident, you started discussing your thoughts, and which is something that you have dramatically improved over the past year. Okay, that's how you answer strengths and weaknesses. All right, so that was a quick session on how that you can answer quick strengths and weaknesses. And the conclusion to that would be, you look at this funny image here. You answer your question in such a way that your manager is just impressed, and he's so much impressed that he's like, "Wow, what an answer here!" And there is something like you have nailed the manager. You see, I see you don't go and hit the manager. Please don't do that. Yeah, this is just a funny image here. So the conclusion will be you must practice, 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 and rehearse this answer as much as you can. Don't try to make it very mechanical, but at the same time, don't try to just go with blind confidence saying that I'll try to answer whatever I can. Plan this answer very carefully because this is one of the most important questions. What are your strengths and weaknesses? So I hope you practice, you rehearse, and you nail your next job interview, something like this. I'm sure you will rock it. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I hope all of you like this session here. That's thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video if you really find the session to be helpful and useful. And my request would be to share it with the people who are applying for the next job interview. If you think your brother, your sister, or maybe your other near and dear ones are going to apply for the next job interview, or they probably have difficulties applying for a job interview or answering this question, please make sure you share this video with them. And trust me, following these tips will make sure that they're not in a problematic situation anymore, and they are very confident in their next job interview. So that's it. I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave your valuable feedback and don't forget to subscribe to We Learn English so that we do not miss this amazing learning of both academic English and non-academic as well. So see you in the next session. Until next time, bye bye. Take care.